Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. I'm John, and with me is my partner in crime, the person who has had a bad day, the guy who's doing all the stories today because I didn't have time. Deuce. How you doing, Deuce?
Hey, how you doing? Como esta, bitches?
And we got the Facebook Live going. We're down in the BXP studio again. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better where I can see you.
You can see my wrinkled nose.
I can see your wrinkled nose when you're upset when I'm doing a story, or
No, not that I'm upset.
or you know, it's not to your taste so much.
No, not so much that it's not to my taste. Just some things I'm just weary of because some of the stories just not that particular because you want to do it. It's just a story that has been in the forefront for the last
week.
Yes, it's.
But we only do a show once a week, so we kind of have to.
Yeah, but by then, that's the problem. I think because if like we recorded the day of that happening,
right,
it would have been like more topical. But now it's been dissected and discussed. And
I like how we're going to do it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's just I just kind of like to move on from the election and everything. Because that's what it all is.
We have moved on from the he's president now.
Well, no, this story is basically a result of the election. Because,
you think this is going away?
Yeah, I think so.
This isn't going away. They're going to pound on this guy like Rocky did on a side of beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not giving up.
Yeah,
they're hotter than a $2 pistol.
I just like that he's pushing back on it, and they're not used to that.
That's true. I don't know if I like that or not.
I do. Because we've been screaming about we being,
the right
conservatives. So like they got to fight back, and they're not used. They're used to them just rolling over, and he's not going to roll over. So
no, he's not. He is a fighter,
mm-hmm.
And he's got a new pit bull for a press secretary.
Yeah, you can tell she's a Jersey girl.
No.
Their press Spicer. Yeah. Kellyanne Conway, did you see that story?
She punched some guy in the face.
Yeah, you can tell she's a Jersey girl.
She just like I guess they were fighting or something. And
she went to school in Hamilton, where Diane went to school.
You know what's funny about her?
She's from ACO.
Right. You know what's funny about her? Like there's some times where she really, really looks good. The lighting's good, and she looks attractive. And then when the lighting's bad or something, she turns a certain way.
Oh, that episode of the Festivus episode on Seinfeld. Yeah. Ooh, bad lighting on the porch. And he comes running in. So.
Yeah, she's kind of got that bad lighting thing. And then did you see the outfit she wore to the...
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
You thought that was cool?
Damn right, I'm patriotic.
Stop it. See, this is what I'm talking about. You're so right.
Dude, you're talking to the dude that made himself a red, white, and blue denim jacket with the American flag on the back.
Yeah, but you didn't wear it to
I still wear it.
Yeah, but you didn't wear it to the inaugural.
And had I been invited, I would have wore it.
You would have not worn that. Yeah. You would have worn a proper suit or something.
I would have worn a tuxedo.
You didn't think she looked like
No.
Little Debbie on the Little Debbie's cakes?
Yeah, didn't bother me. I liked it. I like red, white, and blue. What can I say?
Well, I understand. I mean, red, white, and blue is fine, but red, white, and blue clown suit, the only thing that outfit was missing was floppy shoes and a red rubber nose.
Yeah, I'm sure if you go in the historical records, somewhere there's probably some Democrat that had something that was red, white, and blue, and they all raved about it.
Not like that.
Yeah, she wanted to make a statement. It's a new dawn.
If if Hillary would have got in, I don't think she would have had a red, white, and blue pantsuit.
No, she would have had her Mal suit on.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I got to give it to her. She showed up.
Well, sure she would.
She showed up and she was there, and
that's usually that's the historical context. Usually the person that you ran against is, well, almost with the exception of Trump, is always a politician, and the adversary in the election always is usually there.
Yeah, but the Democrats, they're not. A lot of the Democrats didn't show up, didn't go. Well,
they were Democrats and saved seats. In other words, that those seats will forever. They're in districts that will just
they're always Democrat.
Right. They're just
so
always.
You're saying if it was a contested seat,
exactly,
they were there.
Right. If it was something that was a little bit hinky, it's like
they showed up.
Right.
Huh. All right, Facebook Live. This is how it's going to go, and we'll talk to you later. All right, now that they're gone.
So now we can talk dirty. Right.
Yes. Now we can talk dirty. Now we were.
How is your before we get into how's your last week? I mean, with the Jimmy and everything. I mean, Jimmy was a big hit.
Yeah, the Jimmy was a big hit, which was I was glad. I was glad that he actually got a chance to come on the show, and Jerry from Bad Cop thought that he was a made-up character.
Yeah, he's a puka.
Yeah, so
If you know what a puka is, John.
No, I just went with it.
Now you just roll with the punches.
I just roll with it. I mean, why do I?
Did you ever see the old Jimmy Stewart movie, Harvey?
The rabbit one.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Harvey was a puka.
Rabbit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you look, there's a scene in there where the Maytag repairman is. They look up the definition of a puka and they read it.
And what's it say? Fake rabbit?
Like it's a fictional character, as Jerry was saying, as if as if Jimmy really wasn't real. But I could see why Jimmy would think that he was a fictional character.
You could see why Jimmy would think?
I mean, I could see why Jerry
would think
that the Jimmy was a fictional character.
Why was that?
Because you're a media whore. You just loved it, because it does on the face of it look like a subliminal way for you to well, you know what I think, but I'm going to hide behind a fictional character. So, and I was like, yeah, I can see why Jerry thought that.
I would actually like to make up a fictional character, but I don't think I could pull it off. I do. I think that we should have a fictional character on here.
Like Long John Silver on your Halloween broadcast at the radio station?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember
Dude,
that.
I thought it was brilliant, and I still remember it.
I have a horrible memory.
It was Halloween, and you decided to, you were dressed as a pirate. And then, of course, we had cart machines. And what you did is...
I was dressed as a pirate.
Yeah, what you did, you were pretending that you were out sick. And Long John Silver was running your show. And then what you did was you pre-recorded on the cart machine a question and answer. So you had as if you were calling into the station.
I do remember this.
And
now.
Long John Silver was answering and everything.
I do
it was
remember
back
this
and forth. So. And I had just met you then. Because it was it was that Halloween after I had met you.
I was doing crazy radio bits back then.
And I was watching you from the control room where we used to have to take the meter readings.
Right.
So through behind the glass.
I don't remember doing that. But I guess,
well, that's why I'm here.
That's true. I mean, I remember.
Now you remember.
I remember parts of it. Some of it's starting to come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's whole chunks of my life that I can't remember.
It's all that peyote.
No, it's all those concussions, to be quite honest with you.
How many concussions did you have?
I had at least 3 major ones. Mm. So, yeah. I've talked about this before.
Yeah, and I know that, but I just didn't know how many you
there's
had.
At least 3 major ones that I ended up in the hospital for. So, and it's not, and as you get older, there's, your eyesight gets blurry, your memory goes bad, the words can't make it from your brain to your mouth. So I have to really be careful.
It's your whole existence as we know it right now.
Yeah, it's terrible. I finally get everything set up the way I want it to be, and I can't talk. It's ridiculous. I mealy mouth words, start to say something and change up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's it's horrible. It's horrible.
Get off the track. Well, we all do that. So.
Well, I'm just saying.
But yeah, it's good that Jimmy was a success. And how about the crappy weather we had? What a friggin' day I had today.
Well, I woke up this morning in here. It was 39 degrees.
In the house or
in
down?
The house?
Okay.
It was 39 degrees in the house because the wind blew so hard against the side of the house, it blew into the chimney and blew the fire out in the
you have
heater.
A pilot.
Yeah, it's a gas heater.
Okay.
So I wake up this morning, I create a lot of body heat. So I rip off the covers to go to the bathroom. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, it's like I go skip hopping.
You see your breath?
Yeah, I go skip hopping over to the bathroom. I come back, I dive into back under the covers again. I'm shivering. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I'm like, okay. And you got to talk yourself into it. You're like, okay, on the count of 3, I'm going to go over and I'm going to look to see. I'm going to go to the thermostat. So I get up, I run to the thermostat. It says 39 degrees. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So now I go scooting out down here, and the thing is not working. So the only thing I know how to do with a heater is turn that red switch on or off, count to 20, and turn it back on again. I turn it off. I counted 20. I turn it back on again. I heard a click in the heater room, and it sounded like it wanted to start. And I ran and jumped under the covers for about another hour.
Meanwhile, the blower's just blowing cold air out.
Well, it's baseboard. So what you hear is you hear everything. You hear the pipes
clanging
and everything. So I waited a little bit, and when I got up, it was 48 degrees. No, wait a minute. It was 52 degrees in here, which is still chilly.
Yeah, it's a slow climb.
It's a slow climb. Then I had to go, at midday, I had to go get the 2 cortisone shots in the knees.
Ooh. That'll warm you up.
The one that went in my left knee, I almost passed out.
Wow.
The woman that gives them to me, she's a tall, she's like 5'10", 5'11", and she's she's not a thin girl, but she's not. Here we go again. She's not fat, but she's thick.
She's built like a linebacker.
She's built like a linebacker.
There you go.
But in a very attractive linebacker.
An attractive linebacker.
If you go that way.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, and they spray that cold stuff on you, and she goes, and usually she puts it in, and it's like a pinch and then a burn, and then it's over. Well, I don't know what happened, but it was like a pinch, a flash, a nauseating feeling. Things started spinning. And
she's woozy.
Yeah, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And because I put my hands down, trying to steady myself. She goes, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, that one took the starch out of me. That one almost passed out." So then she called somebody. They had two people in holding me. So because if I fell off of that table, that would have been.
Yeah, you need a Derek to get you up off the floor.
Jacking him up off the floor.
That's
not really true, because I took a dive last Wednesday. I had to take my son to the doctor's. So he comes out and I'm talking to the doctor, and he takes off for the car. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where he went, and I don't know how to get out of there because it was like a maze to get in there.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, walking to him, and I got to go up like 4 steps, just 4 steps, 2, make a turn, up 2. Don't I catch my foot on the top step? Oh. And it's like you're out and you're not coming back. So it's a tuck and roll. I hit the ground. It must have sounded like a bomb went off in there. My phone come flying out of my pocket.
You didn't get hurt?
No. What I did was I tucked and hit my shoulder and kind of did like a semi-roll and then rocked back down again. And they come out and, it's just like you get that strength. Like, you kind of just like, I kind of like rolled and kind of got back up real quick. And they're like, "You all right? You all right?" And I'm, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
So,
and of course you're embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm all red in face.
Yeah.
Red-faced. And so I said, yeah, I got to catch my son. So I go out, and meanwhile, he goes out to the car, and he realizes I'm not behind him. So he comes busting through the door just as I get to the door. Mm-hmm. So I grab him by the collar of the shirt, and I pull him in real close. I go, "Don't run away from me again." Do you understand? Yeah. Give me the keys.
I'm driving.
He's 15.
I was going to say, he's pretty close to driving.
He's as tall as I am.
Right? Wow, really?
Yeah, he's big. He's a big boy.
Wow.
But, he went.
Wise is taller than me now.
Well,
I thought he was, like, Diane would curse him because she's a dwarf. So I figured, well, he's not going to be as tall as I'm almost 5'11".
Okay.
But he's taller than me now. And Diane's like a statuesque 5 foot. So, I just figured that, she's the tallest girl I ever dated. So
really?
But, oh yeah, I like them little. Throw them up in the air, smoke a cigarette, catch them. So, what was that look?
I heard something bang.
That's me. I hit the. I hit the
sorry.
poker table. Sorry.
Okay, I thought someone was coming through. I thought the Jimmy was coming through the door.
No, I was gesturing wildly about throwing up in the air, and I hit the table.
I threw Diane up in the air.
Yeah, no, but he's. You figure, well, she's 5 foot.
I have a feeling John's going to be taller than me and bigger than me. So we'll have to see what happens here with that. But the nice thing about John is, like I said, I had still that thought in him when he was younger that I'm capable.
Uh-huh.
Last time I think he got too frisky. I gave him the Spock death grip,
Vulcan
death grip on the shoulder.
There is no Vulcan death grip. It's the Vulcan nerve pinch.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you ever watched the episode of Muck Time in season 1,
say that one more time.
And now you just hit the wrinkle nose. You go, "Oh no, Star Trek talk."
No, I don't mind. I just don't. Here's the thing: finish it. Yeah. If
now,
you're gonna,
it's always misrepresented as the Vulcan
death grip,
death pinch, but there is no Vulcan death grip or death pinch. It's the Vulcan nerve pinch.
I got you. So, did you watch any of the march?
No, I was working that day.
So you didn't get a chance to see any of it?
I was basically trolling. We were trolling people at work on Facebook amongst ourselves because there's somebody that I work with was just way into it. And we were just sick and tired of her like polluting our timelines up with that shit. So we just decided to troll back is what we did.
Well, you saw what I did. You saw me make the poster.
Yeah.
With the
The guy with the
what did it? I'm trying to remember even what it said.
The guy had a strike sign that says "Go back in the kitchen."
Something make me dinner.
Yeah,
go home and make dinner.
Yeah, you piled on. Yeah.
Of course I did.
Yeah,
of course that's what the best part of it.
Yeah, right. It's just like everyone was like piling on. So
okay, so let's break this down a little bit because I got to tell you, there is. I think this is just a lot to do about nothing.
It is.
I don't know what they were. I mean, listen, ladies, you wanted to go out and have a day, meet, walk up and down, dress up, go get a coffee, spout off. I mean, hey, they were very well behaved. There was no windows broken.
They did leave a lot of trash, though.
Okay, they left a little bit of trash.
Unlike the Tea Party demonstrations where they left the places cleaner than when they arrived.
Okay,
just saying.
I'm just okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. They left some trash behind. They should have picked up
some. They should make them pay for it.
They should make them. Who's going to pay for it?
The city now has to pay for that.
I understand that, but who do you think that they should? It's not like there's a woman's march.
Whoever signed for it, they had to get a permit to have this.
Okay, they had to get a okay.
Right, they should, and if they're going to do that again, you withhold permits. Problem solved. No more nonsense. Sandwich famine of 2017 protest.
Right. That was the other thing. I was like,
the great sandwich
they're out,
famine.
Because they're
it's
out.
funny, like how many people that was like the first thing, like every joke meme would start coming through about that. It was like, well, who's making the sandwiches today?
That's what I wrote. I wrote, I guess no wash is getting done today.
Yeah. And one of my coworkers, Josh, he was like, and don't forget there's a whole bunch of beers out there that aren't going to get opened. And that went over like a fart in a spacesuit with the aforementioned person that we work with.
Here's the thing. I don't begrudge them going out.
Nah, they have every right to. And they were peaceable. It wasn't like the inauguration day shenanigans that went on with the anarchists running amok.
Did you see the one? The one I love the best is where they're swearing him in and they go, "Congratulations, you're the president of the United States," and the lady goes,
I'm still not even sure if that was a woman.
No, that was a woman.
I don't know, but I think that was all perfectly staged. Because
it was.
If you watch the video, you could see her open her eyes and she glances up toward the left to see, okay, where's my cameraman?
Where's my camera?
It's just
which is fun. I mean, listen. I thought that was hysterical. Tell me that's not going to be. She's going to be in every little video.
Oh, that's going to live on in perpetuity.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's like the crying Jordan. It's going to be everywhere.
But I mean, it wasn't just in Washington. It was in Philadelphia.
It was all over the world.
Yeah, it was all over. I mean, they really mobilized.
Yeah, well.
I mean, if you piss off women.
No, they really mobilized because the George Soros and the other communist socialists that like to get these things together. George Soros, who worked for the Nazis, and said it was
he did work for the Nazis?
Oh, yeah. And so I'm not going to get into that. But and he said it was the best time.
How old is George? Because the Nazis you have to be pretty old.
He's up there, yeah. He's, he made his fortune collapsing currencies around the world, and he did it when they reopened the stock market after 9/11. That's the guy that the left loves. So,
okay,
yeah, that's
So they were out there, and
he's hit him and other socialist billionaires, which is almost like an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. It's like, we have to have money for everyone, but I'm a billionaire.
I'll tell you what, I'd be pissed off if I was him too. All that money he dumped into that election and he didn't win.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed off.
He lost money too.
Sure, he did.
I mean, he lost money after that fact because the market rallied after the election results and everything that he was invested in, because he was invested in markets that would have done well had Hillary won. They all tanked. So he lost money, and he's still losing money until he can divest himself of that. He'll never run out of money, but he lost money, and I was pleased as punch.
So here's the thing is, would you be mad too? I'd be hotter than a $2 pistol if I lost all that money.
If you're going to play that game, you can't be surprised.
Well, he didn't think he was playing. He thought he was buying.
Yeah. Well,
he thought he had it made.
Well, because they live in a bubble, those people like that.
Well, if I could break it down, if I could be so bold to break this down to the women, first of all, I don't know what rights were taken away. I mean, I know that they're worried about the Roe v. Wade.
Well,
They're worried
I'm just
about
gonna
that.
say, whenever they say women's rights, the only thing that means to the left is the right to an abortion on demand. That's all it means.
Okay.
But they cloak it in doublespeak.
Yeah, because there's nothing else. Like, nothing else is really happening.
Yeah. They can vote.
They can vote.
They can have any job that they want.
Right. And they say, oh, well, equal pay. And then it cracks me up that the women are up there that were, speaking at these things. Madonna, Amy Schumer. They command top dollar.
Scarlett Johansson.
Johansson.
With her new David Bowie hairdo.
I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, you have to be like, it's because she's a superstar. She can pull that off.
I'm telling you. That looked nice. I like that.
I like the David. So you like to bang David Bowie?
I know. I like the bang. I like the bang.
So you want to do the Ziggy Stardust era David Bowie?
No, I just like
I hear what
short
you're
hair.
saying, but
She
go
pulled
on.
it off. She could pull it off.
I don't want to derail you
just
off.
Because I like a woman with short hair doesn't make me a homo.
No, I'm just going to say I want to derail you off of your train of thought because this will be a whole nother tangent. It will be another hour.
Well, this is what you do because you won't let me get to my points.
Yeah, because I'm a diabolical mastermind.
I got jokes written here. I got jokes and I got sound effects. I got all this shit going on, and you want to derail it. Yeah. You're killing me here. I've got sound effects and I got Madonna here.
I had no idea you were so susceptible to Jedi mind tricks.
It's not. I'm trying. I'm trying to get over here to tell the jokes, and you're pushing me away. You're ruining everything.
All right, I'll sit here and quiet.
That's not going to work. So anyhow, no, but just because I like a woman with short hair doesn't make you a gay guy. No, he shrugs his shoulders. What the? Are you kidding me?
No, but your point you were making, all the women that were speaking.
Right. They are the ones that they get paid way above scale. Mm-hmm. So what are they crying about?
Yeah, well, women do get paid the same amount as men. That every time they trot that out, it's a flawed study. And if you look at the facts, women just make as much money, if not more. In fact, most women make more money than their male counterparts in some instances, in some industries.
Some
women make the common lie that they trot out there is women get paid 77 cents to every dollar that a guy makes.
Okay.
That's not true.
I don't think so because nurses, it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, you know how they derive at that?
No.
They derive at lifetime earnings. And what they'll say is like, okay, the average male will make this much in a lifetime. The average woman will make this much in a lifetime. And then they divide that out by 40 hours a week or whatever. And they say, oh, look at this. He's getting $1 there. But what they don't take into account is several factors. One is men generally work longer than women do. Okay, where a woman is more likely to retire in her late 50s, maybe to 62, where a man will go to 65 or continue to work. Men will also take more dangerous jobs that pay more money.
That's true too.
Okay. Women also will take time off from work for family leave when they have children,
which they should do.
Okay, right. But see, that's the thing. So now they're not.
They kind of get out.
Think about it this way: if you owned a company,
yes,
okay, and you're going to hire 10 people, if you could legally get away with paying women 77 cents on the dollar to what a man, why wouldn't you just hire 10 women and save money?
Because 1 week out of the month, it would be a nightmare in that place.
No, but that notwithstanding.
Because they sync up.
Because think about it, every company in the world, we would have rampant male unemployment in this country if that were true, because the companies would just hire women. And that's their argument. And the study's been refuted. I mean, that's just it in a nutshell. But the myth is perpetrated every election cycle because they think they're going to make political hay out of it. And it's just not true.
Here's the bottom line. They just don't like Trump. That's the bottom line.
Well, that's it.
That's it. That's
and
the
they can't
only
believe,
thing.
Just like when Bush won re-election in 2004, they couldn't believe it then. They can't believe that Trump won now, and they're going to go into overdrive. Let me just say
this. The Bush, what was the guy's name that he ran against in 2000? What's the guy?
The haughty John Kerry.
No. Well, that one, but I'm thinking about the one with the
Gore. He ran against Gore in 2000.
Right, the Gore one. The thing about it is Trump basically went up there and just did everything that everything opposite that a political person would do.
So like that episode of SpongeBob, it was opposite day?
Yeah, it was opposite day. And, he had his fans, Okay. But here's the thing. We want this country to get out of the directive it's in. And I don't care, to be quite honest with you, I don't care if the president goes out once a day and drowns a puppy. As long as he brings the economy back and makes it easier for business and, makes a better lifestyle for the people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I don't care what he does. You know what? If he likes it, if Russian hookers pee on each other, then I say every Thursday night, put up the plastic and have at it. Okay? I don't care. As long as he does the job that he was hired to do, I don't care what he does on his off time. I really don't.
Well, that's the thing, because this election will be, we talked about it before, it'll be dissected for ages, because they can't believe that he won. But what they didn't take into account is how angry the people were.
Right.
I mean, he won the popular vote. But, how can they say, oh, well, the Russians interfered, but he won the popular vote. Well, he ran a smarter campaign. He knew how the Electoral College works.
Well, let's talk about the Russians for a second.
Okay.
So basically what they did was they went in and they hacked a server that wasn't supposed to be there.
Right. In a basement.
Of
a presidential candidate.
And they took all the emails.
As Secretary of State.
Took all the emails and they released them to the public. Mm-hmm. The Democrats aren't saying that these emails are faked. Mm-hmm. They're real. They're not denying the content of the emails.
No.
They're just mad.
They're playing deflection.
Right. So I don't know where this is going to shake out with this thing with the Russians, because they say that now, again, the other side, and I'll get to this a little bit later about each side. Now the other side's saying that the Russians are blackmailing Trump because of this golden shower video where the hookers are peeing on each other. And if it's not illegal, I don't know. I don't even know if that's illegal, because there's no sex involved. It's a show. And
regarding the hacking, they're saying what happened is exactly what you said. The way it's being presented in friendly media outlets to the Democrats is that it influenced. They use a nuance, and they say, well, this actually had an influence on election day.
Yeah, people saw that and were like, what's going on here?
Well, a lot of them they're playing it as if voting machines are hooked up to the internet and that the Russians went in remotely
and changed
votes. That's not what happened.
And then
these people voted for Trump.
And now Trump is...
And then when that nitwit Jill Stein, I loved it when she did the recount vote to try to stop this. Trump wound up with 140 more votes or something in one state. It was like, so he got more votes. She should have just shut up. I forget which one of the states it was that she wanted Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania recounted. She got like less than 1% of the vote. If anyone should have been calling for the recount, it would have been Hillary Clinton.
Right.
That's who should have been calling for the recount. So it was like, it was farcical on its face.
All right. So my thing is that they pulled out these emails, and the other thing is that the people that are upset about Trump is they're saying, well, the Russians are blackmailing him. And I'm thinking to myself, the Clintons, who took money from Saudi Arabia and all these, and funneled it through their foundation.
Mm-hmm. Which is being disbanded. One of the foundations is being disbanded now.
So now, and this is what I say to the liberals, you couldn't even put up a candidate that could beat Donald Trump.
They could have. They chose not to.
But they did. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They decided to put somebody up there that couldn't beat Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And now what do you want? Mm-hmm. Because people would see, here's the thing. And I looked this up. I actually went and looked this up. There's about 27 to 28% of voters, registered voters, that are Democrat. There's 27 to 28% of registered voters that are Republican. About 41% are independent. They say they're independent. So what happens is, the people that wanted to vote for Trump, the like you, the Republicans, they were going to vote for Trump. It didn't matter who they put up there. Whoever the Republicans trotted out, they would have voted for him. Same thing with the Democrats. The Democrats, the 28% of Democrats, whoever they trotted out, the Democrats were going to vote for. The 41% of the people that are independent, they had to make a decision on who they were going to take. And they just saw what was going on in this country. And I'll tell you, part of the things that really, I think, hurt them is where they would not say Islamic terrorist. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't use the word. And after all this stuff is going on, all this nonsense is going on, They won't own up to it. And they're bringing people in here, thousands at a time, refugees, not vetting them.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's no mechanism to vet them.
There's no mechanism to vet them. And people are, they see what's going on. They see the shootings. They see that they're getting more and more. They're happening more and more.
Well, they see what's happening in Germany and France with refugees.
Right, refugees.
And, able-bodied men. I forget what the stat was, but it's like really, really high. I think it was like 75 or 80% of these so-called refugees are able-bodied men in between the ages of 18 and 35. Well, where are the women and children at?
Right.
These aren't refugees. These are soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's going on. And we don't want that nonsense here.
Right.
And Hillary, she didn't say anything about stopping it. But Trump did. So as well, for that issue alone, if that's why people voted, that's why they voted for Trump.
I think that plays a big part of it. So now the people, the Democrats, the staunch liberals, the right, the left. Sorry, I get my left and my right mixed up all the time.
Remember, it's very easy. Right is right and left is wrong.
Okay, so you say.
It's very easy to remember.
So I saw this thing going around Facebook. It kind of cracks me up because it's on a lot of people's timelines, and I'll read it to you. I'm not mad at you that Clinton lost. I'm unconcerned that we have different politics. And I don't think less of you because you vote one way and I vote another. No. I think less of you because you watched an adult mock a disabled person in front of a crowd and still supported him. I think less of you because you saw a man spouting clear racism and backed him. I think less of you because you listened to him advocate for war crimes and still thought he should run this country. I think less of you because you watched him equate a woman's worth to her appearance and got on board. It isn't your politics that I find repulsive. It's your personal willingness to support racism, sexism, and cruelty. You sided with a bully when it mattered, and that is something I will never forget. So no, you and I won't be coming together to move forward or whatever. Trump disgusts me, but it is the fact that he doesn't disgust you that will stick with me long after this. And again, I think it's a lot of sour grapes.
Mm-hmm.
He's running the country.
Regarding the invitation, it's the only invitation that Donald Trump knows.
That's bullshit too.
Now,
I don't care. I saw that tape, and I saw all the ones that they tried. The right tried it out there.
The right
bullshit. It's the right. Yeah, the right trotted out there. So look, he does it. He did it this way. He did it that way.
They're did it not 5 times over the last 20
not the same
years
way. Not the same way.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not the same way. Of course, you're going to see it that way. It's your party.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but anybody that's in the center here, we can tell that he was mocking them. Yes, the center. Yes,
the center.
That's where all the work's getting done.
Oh, is it really?
Well, because the right's over there yelling, the left's over there yelling, and they're all trying. They don't want to come in the middle and try to get something done. They're just telling you what the other person isn't doing. The people in the center, that's where the work gets done.
Okay, give me an example. I can't.
Because we can't get anybody that we can't get you to. We can't get the left and the right to come together.
Let's break it down to a numerical. If Joe was here, he'd be better at this. But let's break it down to a numerical analysis.
Okay.
Using 0 to 10 as a scale.
All right.
0 is not getting anything done. 10 is getting everything done. If we meet in the middle, it's 5.
5's better than 0.
It's not going to get anything done. You're only halfway there. If you wanted to build a bridge across the river and you're going to argue about what's the best way to pay for it, what do? Not build it or build it? Or do we just build it halfway across the river so it goes nowhere?
Just so you know that in 2 years, when this election comes up, he better have made some really, really big strides here, or the right is in big trouble.
No,
because
not really. The left has more seats to defend.
Well, I'm just telling you.
They have, in fact, there's a possibility that we could have a supermajority in the Senate, which I hope to Christ happens. So
I don't see where that. I still think you need one hand watch. You need one side watching.
There's
the other.
25. I believe it's 23 or 25 Democrat seats that are in red-leaning states that they have to defend. And if they lose just 10 of them, they currently have a 52 to 48 majority. If they lose 10, now they've got a 62 to 38 supermajority. So
I'm telling you right now,
they are like scrambling. They're in disarray. I love it.
Yes, they are in disarray.
I love it.
They better get their crap together too, and they better realize that the American public is waking up. Here's the thing: social media and the availability of media so easily, people are waking up. They're paying attention.
Yeah, but your people are trying to stop that with the fake news red herring.
First of all, my people in the center, I don't have people.
Your people.
They're not my people.
Yes,
and first of all, your people are the ones with the alternative facts. How do you have an alternative fact?
Well, I don't agree with that term, but how do you have a man-made catastrophe?
Well, one way is to take and run a super tanker aground and have oil spill. That's one way to make a man-made catastrophe.
Well, the guy that you voted for in 2008 wouldn't call it Islamic terrorism, as you pointed out. He was labeling it a man-made catastrophe.
Well, again,
they wouldn't even call it terrorism, John.
Right, I agree with that. That's why I think that
I think the term alternative facts, I think they had another message, but it was poorly delivered. Because I don't know what was in their head when they were speaking about that on whatever particular news show that was on one of the Sunday shows, was that you have groups that are parsing the news to bring this guy down, and it's been going on since 1986 when they bored Robert Bork.
Well,
they know how to punch back, and it's because, like you said, we've got the internet. That's why everyone should fight net neutrality, because that's what that's all about. It's about controlling the content and the message, just like the old fairness doctrine. It's not about bringing small companies the ability to transmit messages on it. That's just eyewash and bullshit that they use to disguise their real agenda. And I'm glad that the new FCC director is a staunch opponent to net neutrality, so we shouldn't have any issue there.
Well, I agree with that. And here's the other thing. As far as I'm concerned, when you take everybody was upset because he said he wanted to give the government back to the people. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. They need to make some changes. They need to make some changes in the way they got to take the money out of the politics. Mm-hmm. And nothing's going to really change until they take the money out of the politics.
What money are you talking about? Campaign money, or
the campaign money and lobbyists?
Well, the McCain-Feingold bill. Inadvertently, just like I said, whenever the government gets involved to fix a problem, what they call a problem, it usually makes the problem worse. And when they passed McCain-Feingold, it sounded great. Oh, it's campaign finance law. Well, it brought more money into the equation. It didn't solve the problem. It made it worse. Now you have these 527 groups. They don't have to identify who they are. They can give as much money as they want to a candidate.
It's crazy.
It's worse than it was.
So when companies do that, people go to jail. When Enron went and they had that whole scheme that they were doing, and they finally were brought down, and they did all that damage, there was laws written where you couldn't. Okay, so you and I are. I am a salesman, and you're a client. Okay. And I can go and take you to lunch, and I can take you to, I can take you to lunch. I can take you to a ball game. I can buy you drinks. I can do all this kind of stuff because you're my client. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I'm a manager. Okay. One of my vendors wants to come in and take me to lunch and take me to, I can't do that. Why can't I do that? Because there's laws put in place where that would favor, where that can create favor with one vendor over another. And I forget what the name of the laws are. God, I should know it because when I worked in the elevator business, they pounded that thing into your head like.
Probably depends on the industry you're in, because generally,
it was
that's been a staple of being of business for hundreds of years.
And then the big guys in the elevator business. When I say big guys,
I can see where that was an issue in the elevator business, because what were those contracts worth?
A ton.
Exactly.
So what happened was, and then they're global. So the big guys in the elevator business are Otis Elevator, ThyssenKrupp, Schindler. Okay, they're basically the big three. There might be a couple other ones in there, but they're basically the big three. So what they did was they got together and they said, okay, I'll tell you what. You take this contract, we'll take this contract. You bid for this one.
That's called collusion.
Collusion, all right? So they got caught, and it cost them a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, here comes all the people, here comes all the slideshows, here comes all the PowerPoint presentations on what you can't do, what you can do, who you can talk to, who you can't talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so now that happens in business, but in government, whenever they make a rule, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it always does. Whenever the government's involved in anything, it distorts the reality or the market, depending on what they're trying to do. But
dude, I'm telling you, I had a guy come in, and he used to do our motor and generators. He would repair the motor and generators. He was a subcontractor, and he came in and wanted to take me to lunch. And I was like, and you would think the manager's like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, I can't go to lunch with him? No. Why? That's God, I can't think of what name of the law is now. What I mean, what a bunch of crap. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, and they're like, well, he could gain favor with you, and you could end up sending him work and not competitively bid it. Like,
well, a lot of it too it has a lot to do with why these things happen is because somebody stands to make money in a particular area of private enterprise. And a good example of that, as you know, I'm a big Corvette guy. There was a book written back in 97. It was called All Corvettes Are Red. It's an excellent book. And this one example explains government perfectly and what you're talking about. They were developing what was going to be the then brand new Corvette for 1997. That's how old it's 20 years. That's how old this book is. And while they were developing the book, some congressman who heard from constituents that the window tint standards on cars really hasn't been looked at or adjusted since like the early 1960s. So he decided that just because we should reduce the amount of window tint in windows. Why did he want to do that? Because he heard from companies that do window tinting aftermarket. So they stand to make a lot of money. So I'm sure that they had given to his campaign, when he was running for re-election or whatever. So now he's going to float this bill up through Congress and everything. Now, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, anybody that wants to sell a car in this country, the imports, everybody, they're looking at this and they're like, whoa, well, we better see what this is going to do. So what they did was they built test cars with the new proposed window tint standards, and they parked it in Needles, Arizona, what is it, Death Valley, Needles, California.
Okay.
All right. So they said, all right, let's park this car with an existing model. And the results were horrific because the amount of sunlight that proposed windshield and glass was letting through was melting the dashboards, was heating the car up to like super catastrophically hot temperatures. And then when they started the car, it took more gasoline to cool that car down. And they also had to put in bigger alternators, bigger heavy duty batteries, more refrigerant for the car. It was like ridiculous. It was going to cause more harm to the environment than just leaving the glass as it was. And I know this is a long explanation, but basically a lot of this stuff happens in government is because someone stands to make a boatload of money out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to say, get a congressman to go out and put a bill out there now that only fat guys that stutter and live in South Jersey are allowed to edit podcasts. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine what would happen? Like I could charge whatever I want.
Well, it's pretty much what they do. I mean, some of the bills that they propose.
Only fat guys in South Jersey can edit podcasts?
Well, no, using that as an example,
yes.
they do that kind of stuff all the time. There's always some kind of half-ass law that they pass in state, federal, local government. It's crazy.
So now, getting back to our lady friends. Mm-hmm. So they're out marching. I got to play this one because this woman here, you want to talk about somebody that's out of touch. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you still awake out there?
Oh, yeah, we're awake.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I'm sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what am I, deaf?
Are you ready to shake up the world?
All right.
Welcome to the revolution of love. To the rebellion. To our refusal as women to accept this new age of tyranny.
What? I asked you to make a sandwich? Is that what it is? What tyranny is against women? What? What is it?
What day was that? Saturday?
Yeah.
Sandwichless Saturday?
Sandwichless Saturday. What are they talking about, the tyranny? What have they lost? What are they losing?
Where not just women are in danger, but all marginalized people.
Brown people? Is that what they're talking about? Gays? Who's the marginalized people? I'm asking you.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were just
Who am I talking to?
Well, I thought you were speaking rhetorically. I don't know.
I want to know.
No, it's a good question because she's just rambling at this point.
Who's the marginalized people? She couldn't say the gays, the dark people. What? I don't understand.
The racist white males that voted for Trump.
The racist white males. We're taking it on the chin. You and I. Yeah. We're white guys.
Yeah. I didn't do nothing.
I've never.
What the hell did I do?
Right. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is here.
Where being uniquely different right now might truly be considered a crime.
All right. Let's say she's talking about gay people, transgender, whatever. They can get married. They have more rights now than they've ever had. They're accepted more, and I'm all for that.
Well, not only do they have the rights, but when you look at every other country on the planet, there's no country like this country.
Right.
I mean, if they were really serious about this, why aren't they protesting with Amnesty International in the countries where women absolutely have no rights whatsoever and are beaten and beheaded and all that?
And gay people are thrown off of buildings?
I mean, yeah, that's where it's disingenuous to say the least.
I can't understand I don't know what all the screaming is about, but let's listen.
Well, took this horrific moment of darkness to wake us the fuck up.
Okay. So what? Trump got elected, and now...
Say that one more time.
Trump got elected, and now all of a sudden, this is all going on because he wants to build a wall, because he wants some kind of vetting for people coming into this country who come from countries that basically have declared war on us. Some factions, it's not a country, it's a faction. Either it's Al-Qaeda or...
It's an ideology.
ISIS. An ideology, thank you. So now what do we, so far he came in and they run. They don't walk, they run to the typewriters when this stuff goes on. As soon as he does something, he signs the bill for the mortgage rates, the federal mortgage rates. Mm-hmm. So basically what he's doing is he's trying to get the mortgage companies come in and they take the best deals, which means they leave the other deals, the shit deals, the ones that are going to be foreclosed. The only ones that are left are for the government ones. And, what happens is they get defaulted on. And what happens then?
The Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac loans, is that what they are?
Yeah. So what he's trying to do is so the taxpayers don't take it on the chin. Mm-hmm. But no, first thing they do, damn it. I can't do the sound effect because I got Madonna on hold here. All right, let's exactly what happened. All right, let's try it again. Let's see what else she's got to say. Oh, now they're going to do. Are you kidding me? All right, so
7-second delay.
Yeah, let me get back to that. So they start typing. Oh, Donald Trump is now went and did something with the insurance rates for the housing industry, and now no one's going to be able to buy houses anymore. It's going to ruin the housing industry. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, they got to have something to scream about. They don't read the bills. They don't read it. They just
yell.
Well, it's all reflex, is what it is.
Are you kidding me? Do I have to go back and listen to her the whole time again?
Hello.
Oh.
Are you still awake out there?
Yeah, we get the idea.
Oh.
Yeah, we get the idea.
That's ruining the whole thing. I wanted to get to the part where she decided she was talking about, I thought about blowing up the White House.
And I'd like to know how many guys in sunglasses and black suits showed up at her house.
Hello, Madonna.
Miss Whore, we would like to speak to you.
Whore.
Well, she's a whore. She made her career out of being a whore. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never liked her.
I wasn't really a Madonna fan either. To be honest with you, she's been a dirty clam for years. Mm-hmm. And there's probably nothing going to be done about it. But could you imagine?
Oh, she recanted big time. Now, Joe made a brilliant point. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I did, where he said if it was him.
Exactly. If you or I said that, we'd be looking at hard times.
Sure.
And that's something else that has to change in this country is this two different scales of justice. If you're rich and you're somebody,
well, listen,
especially if you're somebody.
I mean, listen, if you think about blowing up the White House, is that really a crime? If you plan to blow up the White House, that's a crime.
When she says she's repeatedly
Thought.
about, yeah.
Thought.
Okay. Now, in the day and age that we live in, I mean, you can't. That's a terroristic threat.
I know that they say
when
that.
we were kids, and we would just say, like, if something was going on, I said, "Oh, if he does that, I'll kill him."
I'll kill him.
Right.
Right.
That you never meant to kill the guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
But now the pond is so toxic and poisoned.
But I mean, we still? I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, she says, I thought it's like if she would have said, I was planning on blowing up the White House if he got in.
Well,
now that has teeth.
Well, not only that, let's look at it this way: who is she? A multimillionaire that could probably afford to put it together some kind of coalition of crazy fans that would do something like that?
Well, the other thing is that she, somebody like that crazy jackass that took a shot at Reagan,
Mark David Chapman,
right? Who
wanted to impress Jodie Foster.
Wanted to impress her.
Yeah, boy, was he disappointed when he found out that she was playing for the other team.
What? She's a lesbian? Oh, I'm doing life for this. I didn't know that.
You are a cunt.
All right, enough of that. But as I'm saying, I don't know. Did she recanted? But I wonder if anybody went over and talked to her.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
They had to.
Yeah, because she came out like immediately, like the next day. It was like, oh, I really mean that. I'm sorry. As she's rolling up the window, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Should have said blowing up the White House.
I meant to say I wanted to blow the guy that was in the White House.
Right. No, she wanted to blow everybody else.
Yeah, that would vote for
Hillary.
Vote for him. Yeah, that's.
She didn't get that many. Nobody really took her up on her offer.
That's just ludicrous. I don't even want to address that.
What? I don't see why you don't want to address it. A woman says that if
we
you're going to change your
before,
vote,
I don't want to.
If you're going to change your vote, I'll give you a Hummer. You don't take pause.
And that gives you all you need to know about the caliber of the quality of the candidate that was running.
It has nothing to do with the candidate.
Enough said.
Madonna says.
Basically, she was saying, look, I know she sucks as a candidate, but
if you vote for her,
that's it.
I'll give you a Hummer.
She sucked as a candidate. Why would you say that? If you really believed in what she stood for, and you really believe that she was
there's a Hummer involved,
a quality
by
candidate,
Madonna.
You don't need to make. Oh yeah, if it was like 28-year-old Madonna 30 years ago, she might have had more of a leg to stand on. Now she's 58. She's a grandma. So it's like
she's not a grandma. Is she?
She's beyond MILF. She's now a GILF. So hey, my grandmother was a grandmother at 48 or something. So it's like when you're 48 and above, and you could be. It's like, come on, move on.
I'm telling you,
nothing to see.
There's
here.
Guys that would absolutely think about
because guys are scumbags.
Yes, in that area, yes.
Most guys are scumbags,
right?
So
I'm just saying,
men are weak.
We
it's
are
all
in that
about
area.
the cat. See this?
It's all.
See this? This is the most powerful force on the planet.
Now Deuce is making a triangle with his hand.
This has pulled battleships across oceans. Okay. It's like when they're talking about Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. It wasn't her face.
I should never, ever change my sound effects.
Now, see?
Grab him by the pussy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's that does. It takes that.
What is Aleppo?
I don't know. He's not even an issue anymore.
No.
But
he's too busy trying to pay off his 2012 campaign with the money that he raised this past campaign.
There you go. So anyhow, ladies, I hope you had a good day out. Hope you enjoyed yourself. We all went out and we bought sandwiches. We went out to the local.
And don't get the wrong idea. John and I do believe that you do have the right to peacefully assemble, and that's what they did do.
All right, so
there wasn't no shenanigans like the day of Inauguration Day with the smashing of windows and fires and rioting.
Right. So let me just say this to you. When you piss off that many women and they're that staunchly against one person, how many men are they dragging with them?
Did you see that video of that despicable woman that got thrown off the airplane?
Yes.
I mean, tell me that guy hasn't been beaten into submission. Her husband.
Oh, yes.
He sat there like a deaf mute.
He didn't say a word.
He wanted to be 1,000 miles away from there. And what's running through his, this fucking bitch. I can't believe she's doing this here.
If there wasn't anybody around here, I'd club her like a baby seal.
And you know what? You know what that tells me? she was like that her whole life, but
Right.
now everyone's got a smartphone.
Now, see,
She probably bullied people her entire existence with
so
shit
now
like
we've got to
that.
kind of, for people that aren't up to speed, there was a guy, he was on the plane and he was going to the inauguration, and I guess they were flying out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
He had a T-shirt on, I believe.
She had a Trump T-shirt. So he was identified as a Trump person. This woman, she's in her, I don't know, middle 80s, 70s, maybe 60s. Who knows? Short haircut, the boy cut, not like the Bowie cut.
Mm-hmm. Not cute and sexy.
Not cute and sexy like
Scarlett Johansson.
yeah,
is
not
sporting.
yeah, more like
I hope that grows back for the next
like a boy.
Avengers movie.
I'll just put a wig on her. So
It's not the same.
she gets on there and she starts berating this guy because he voted for Trump. And he calls the stewardess over, and the stewardess says, "Is there going to be a problem here?" And then she gives the stewardess some lip. And
Well, I think not only did he bring it to, I think other passengers was like, "Well, this is really uncomfortable." I think other passengers also sent the stewardess over.
so then a guy,
Flight attendant, I'm sorry.
Kai comes back. Well, the stewardess left, said, "I'll be right back." And then they sent a guy, flight attendant.
Yeah.
So he comes over, and I bet you they're getting paid the same, but he had to deliver the bad news.
Right.
So he's like, "Pack your stuff." And she's like, "What?" She says, "You got to get off the plane."
Yeah.
She goes, "I paid for this ticket. I'm staying on this plane." Nope.
No, you're not.
So then she turns around and she says, "You put his finger on the button."
Yeah. And she's like, "Well, you might think you have the moral high ground here." They actually brought on the police. Did you see that?
Well,
when
no,
they
the video that I saw cut out right
No,
after.
there's a couple of videos after that.
I'm sure there's one from every angle.
There's a uniformed law enforcement official, and they're frog hopping her right off that plane.
But the husband,
and not like in a good
said
way,
word.
not in a good way, frog hopping like. Yeah, and then she like turned around with like parting with. Yeah, she was just a miserable.
And that guy didn't say a word. Like,
No,
he should have
he's-
said, "Shut up."
That dude is totally. I mean, talk about a beta male.
Shut your mouth. If I get thrown off this plane, I swear to God,
Yeah,
I'm flying home without you.
right. I would have like God. I
I'd have said, "Shut that trap."
Yeah, so you know what? I'm innocent, even though that's my wife. Can you just
Right.
take her off the
Yeah,
plane?
take her off the plane because she ran her mouth. I have no problem with this gentleman, and
Yeah.
we'll fly. And I'll be honest with you, we'll laugh when she gets thrown off the
Yeah.
plane because of her.
Guy's gonna loosen up, have like those drinks in the little bottles.
Thank God, thank you for having my wife thrown off the plane.
But that was horrible, But you can't tell me that she has to spend her lifetime doing that. Not just politically, like probably she didn't get her way in the butcher store. I had my hands on that chicken first, God knows what was going on, She's got some issues.
My
man.
cucumber.
I mean, really.
I saw it first.
Could you imagine I don't have the time or the energy to expend on stuff like that. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
What's the big deal?
People cut in front of me. I don't even get upset anymore. Well,
Really?
not after that incident.
I was
when
going to say. What?
Well, that was 30 years ago, John, and we don't need to
You can act like a man. Like an actor.
Yeah, it's like.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I wonder if she's a grandmother, like her grandchildren are out there, like, "Oh my God, Grandma, what did you do?"
I
they're
would
all
think that
about,
she's a grandmother.
Hey, what's the date of grandma that I saw on you?
Yeah, I do. I think she's a grandmother.
I'm sure she is. She's vintage.
Right. Now, do you think that woman was there for the march?
She said something about her mother-in-law passed away,
Oh.
and they were getting on. They were either flying to the funeral, I guess, or coming back from the funeral.
So they were in This was in Washington.
I assume so. or
I
one
see
of
her.
the
I
surrounding areas.
thought she was in there for the march.
No, I think she kept saying to the people that were trying to boot her off the plane, "Have some respect." Oh, the same respect. Match with me. Match with me.
Ugh.
Well,
Nails on a chalkboard.
match with me. I'm glad you didn't lose that one.
Lose it. I'm over here. Thank God you're talking. I'm over here scanning, trying to find it.
Yeah, it's just like that's what you got to do.
Match with me.
Ugh. We'll get it down.
Yeah.
It's only 33 episodes.
Hey, how did you make out with I had with this goddamn weather that we had? Thank God it wasn't snow, but in a way now wishing that maybe it was. Yeah, we had the high winds and everything. You were
Yeah.
saying that your storm door got plowed over?
Yeah. I'm going to hold up the little cylinder that's
Oh, the strut.
the strut that holds the door from, slamming shut. it's bent on like a 60-degree angle. I guess it ripped it open and then tried to.
So you got a protractor out and measured this.
I don't know. It looks like a 60-degree angle, doesn't it? That's 45. That's 60. You're breaking my balls over a degree. Very combative lately. I'll tell you that, young man.
You're very adversarial.
You're very adversarial. Oh, we got to talk about that. We got to. Oh my God, we're going to make fun about that again.
No, but I mean,
what are we supposed to do here?
Did you have any other issues with the?
Well, it blew like I said, it blew the heater out, and that was about it. Oh, and then I lost the trash can, like everybody. Yeah, everybody's running around trying to find their trash cans today.
Wayward trash cans.
Right.
Well, where I work at the secret installation, we had to, with the wind and everything, and the rain was brutal. So I'm driving home last night, and I'm like, I'm thinking, oh man, I hope I don't have any issues at my property,
right?
Because I got big ass trees on there, and when we bought that, I said to Diane, "says we got to take those trees down because they're going to be an issue. These are big, gigantic white pines." And last night, I got home and everything, and I said to her, I hope we don't have any issues. So this morning, I slept in a little bit late. I got up at 8, and I got a message on my phone. It's a phone number. Don't recognize it at all. I play it. Hi, this is so-and-so, your neighbor. And the first thing that came into mind is goddamn trees. So here this tree came down through his fence and landed on his garage. He's got a detached garage back there.
Oh, so it was a tree on your property.
Blew over.
And hit somebody else?
Landed on his property.
Oh, okay.
Straight over his truck and everything.
Oh, that's no problem.
Jesus Christ. So I had to call up my landscape guy, and had to spring into action.
Did he? Okay.
The guy was a really nice guy, and it was a shame that I had to meet him under these circumstances. But I spent like 3.5 hours doing that, like going over stuff. My guy came over there. So you think you're done? All right, well, okay, I addressed that issue. Usually my first weekend, the first week of the month is when I have to like run the empire. But I had to run the empire today, a little early, and I'm trying to expand the empire. So that's a whole nother thing that's going on. But then I get home, and there's shingles in my front yard.
Your shingles?
My shingles on my house. So it's like, fuck. So it's just like, God damn it.
One thing after another.
So then I walk around and I start looking around, and sure enough, I find a very, very light water stain on the side of the house where there's like shingles. And I don't want to fuck around with the insurance company. What are you going to do? It's what you have to do. So now I'm going to call my insurance agent up again tomorrow and say, yeah, I called you yesterday about my rental property.
But guess what?
Now about my primary residence, it's just like,
good roofer?
I do know a good roofer, actually. So it's just like.
Of course you do. Everybody in Jersey knows a guy.
Yeah, everyone knows a guy that knows a guy. We all got a guy. So, but I was just like, you know what? It's just like.
Well, here's the.
I went a good year because I was going to address these trees come springtime.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, well,
the trilogy of regret.
Well,
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well, these damn trees are probably like 80 years old. Okay, and just like I'm looking at it when I was looking to buy the property, I'm looking at it, I said, yeah, those trees are coming down. And I was like, and then the one tenant who I love, she's like the best. It's like Martha Stewart lives there. Like the way she's got her apartment decorated. I mean, she's great. And she was like, oh, I remember when they planted it. She's an older woman.
I remember when they planted them.
Yeah, when they were like, they planted. Well, they may not be 80 years old.
I was going to say, how old is this lady?
Well, she's 67.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're at least 55 years old, I guess.
Okay.
And she lived in the town her whole life and everything. And she's like, and now she's like, and I'm like, I says, and I'm like thinking, well, I don't care what you think about the trees. They're coming down because I got to pay for this.
Well, not only that.
And
but
sure enough, they wound up coming down,
Well, here's the thing. If it was me, and I heard the tree come down, as long as it didn't hit my house, I'd be like, hey, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime. Yeah, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, well, I got lucky. It didn't hit my house.
Sure.
It just hit his garage.
There you go.
So it just, and then I was talking to the tree.
Hey, guy gets a new garage.
If I said
a big deal.
Well, now he's going to get some new, not a new garage, but he does have to have some repairs made. If you're looking at something, the guy that does my landscape, the guy works like a bull. He's a great worker. He's a hard worker. My uncle hooked me up with him, but they call him Columbo. Do you remember the old TV show Columbo?
Yeah.
Because he's like, and one more thing, he would turn around. It's just because if you were on an old-fashioned phone with this guy, you weren't getting off with him without a pair of wire cutters because it just goes on and on. If I were to say to you, John, if I were to say to you,
I got a story. Man, I got a story.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're looking at if I was to I'm standing there in the back, and if I were to say to you and Puss says, "Wow, it looks like I have about 40 trees here that have to come down.
Right.
You know, what would you say? Like, you're the landscape guy.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't even say anything, right?
Right.
He says, nah, you don't have about 40 because I counted them. And I'm like,
Okay. How many do I have?
okay, 38.
Ah,
So
38.
it's like, so you had to count them.
Right.
Okay, and I just like eyeballed it up and I said about 40, but that wasn't good enough.
No.
I mean, I've got some OCD issues myself, I admit that, but this guy was like,
He out OCD.
oh, you don't have 40. You don't have nowhere near 40. That's what he said. You have nowhere near 40. Really?
All right. Well, this podcast wouldn't be a podcast. It wouldn't be an episode if we didn't have a.
It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do? It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy,
If there wasn't a story.
What do you do? What do you do?
So while you were out running around in the rain,
running the empire.
the Jimmy has a computer problem.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses QuickBooks and he can't seem to print. He can't send an invoice by an email, and there's a known problem. By the time we got done, we found out there's a no problem. He's going to have to call. So I said to him, because I'm working down here, I'm doing my work down here. So I said, hey, listen, bring your computer over. Bring it down here.
This is a laptop, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
laptop.
assuming.
No, he's going to drag a whole.
Yeah, a CPU unit. Yeah. See how I sucked you right into?
Sure he is. So he's going to bring the laptop down. So I don't hear anything. 4, 5, 6 o'clock. I'm like, he's not coming. So then I get a call. Yeah, I can't seem to do that. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I got this thing, a program. It's where you go on and they can take control of your computer. What? Yeah, it's called this. You know what it is? No, I've never heard of it. So I go on, and it's basically a program that it's a program where, let's say I had a laptop.
So you can do it like a remote.
Yeah, I could go upstairs with my laptop and then connect to this computer down here and use every program, do everything that I wanted to do. So he wants to connect with my computer to do this. I didn't have time to figure out how to do it. It's not like a click, and there you are.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, why don't we do a Google Hangout? What's that? Well, you just go in, and I have a Google Hangout. We use it. We call it the Bat Cave. So I said, here, type in this address. Okay. So then he types in. I got him on the phone, so he's typing on the address. All of a sudden, here goes the Jimmy. He pops up on the thing. So I said, share your screen with me. All right. So he's trying to share the screen.
Look at the three dots.
Yeah, look at the three dots. Go through the whole thing. I'm talking. It's like I'm trying to talk. It's like I'm trying to talk a 4-year-old.
Talking a pilot down the.
Yeah, 4-year-old's trying to fly a 747, trying to get on the land. And again, Jimmy knows. The Jimmy, he knows. He can't, he's not the best. He's not the most computer literate person, but we're trying. So I'm trying to, and I know right now that I could never, ever be one of those guys that do the
help desk.
The help desk. There's no way.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
So I'm watching him on the screen, and I'm telling him, okay, move over here to the left, to the right, up a little bit, down a little bit. I feel like I'm an auctioneer. Up a little bit, left to the left, left, over a little bit down. Here, there, over there. Click that there, click that. No, that. No, not that one. Next thing you know, boop, no Jimmy. He's gone.
Was he angry?
No, but I'm sitting there now. Is he going to come back? Does he know how to get back?
Yeah, you're sitting there like in a mystery
what do I
science
do?
theater kind of a thing.
So then the phone rings, and so I get him back on it. So about 2 hours. And I'm telling you what, afterwards, I felt like I needed a drink. And again, it's not his fault. No. And I'm not blaming him. It's just it was more me. I just couldn't.
Does he got Apple or is he Windows?
No, he's a Windows guy.
See, that's
part of the problem. Yeah, it's part of the problem. But Windows are cheap. You can get a Windows laptop for like $200.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like I mentioned before when the Jimmy was here about, I don't think we put this on, we had a post-show like we always do.
Right.
And we were talking about like how electronics are disposable. Windows computers are like essentially disposable because I was like, hey, you know what? It's broke. I'll just go buy a new one.
You're not going to fix it.
Yeah, no, it's just.
But if your Apple laptop goes down, you might think about fixing that. But they're beefy. They don't really break. They're hardy computers. Yeah, they cost more.
Yeah.
But if that's what you're doing, if you're going to be in podcasting or you're going to be doing some graphic arts or you want something like that, yes, get an Apple. But then you get the people that are like, oh, Apple's the empire and I'm anti-Apple. I'm anti-iPhone. Yeah. I'm going to get myself an Android phone.
Well, the company that I worked for before, when I worked for Nat Sherman, and our cigarettes they were very expensive cigarettes because they're additive free and all that stuff. And people would like, oh,
They kill you, but they kill you healthier.
Well, we never made any health claims, but they were just basically there was no additives to them.
That's what I said.
But we never said that they were healthy.
I said,
yeah, I know. But people, if it's like wine. There's better wines. There's better tobaccos and all. So you're going in to see someone from another land that owns a store, okay? And he knows that, like, say, a pack of Marlboros is like $7 here in New Jersey, if not more. And these cigarettes were like $11 a pack.
Right.
Okay. And they were like, oh, they're so expensive. And you have to like go and put your salesman hat on. And I used to always say to them, I says, quality isn't expensive. It just costs more. And that's Apple in a nutshell.
What do you mean that doesn't cost more? What did you just say? I don't understand.
Yeah. This is just people, like, they look at the price, but they don't compare apples to apples, is what I'm saying. So they'll look at an Apple and they'll look at a Microsoft or a Windows, and they can't justify they just think, oh, Apple's greedy. Look how expensive these are. No, there's a reason why the Apple computer is more, because it's a better system. It's a better computer. It's going to last longer.
Well, again, I don't know. I haven't had a Windows computer probably now for about 4 years.
Ugh.
And again, I don't know if they're going to, they'll come back with a better product. I have no idea. But like right now, I'm I'm an Apple fanboy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an iPad, an iPhone.
Well, I told
iMac,
you when I bought my first one, just setting it up, I was like,
this is great.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was just like I got it home, I pulled it out of the box, I plugged it in, I synced with my internet provider to get my email, and I'm sitting there, and the computer's not doing anything. And I was like, well, apparently I'm done here.
Right.
Because I was waiting for the pop-up to sell me a goddamn subscription to Yahoo, to sell me malware, to sell me antivirus.
None of that.
None of that shit happened. It was like, well, this is great. I mean, because that's why I put off buying a computer, because that's all I used to buy was Microsoft. And it was like you lost 2 weeks of your life when you change computers, because you had to, like, oh, this is a pain in the balls.
All right, so now you just bought to come over here, just to come over here.
Right.
And play your sound effects. You went out and bought a MacBook Pro.
Right.
All right. Now you have the MacBook, the iPhone, and the
MacBook
iMac,
Pro.
And that iMac at home. You have an iPhone, an iMac, and a MacBook. And
I bought Diane an iPad Mini for Christmas.
Have,
for Apple device 5 if you count her cell phone now.
Okay. So you have them. And what's nice about these is that they're interchangeable. Like they sync up. So when I have my, if I have messages, I can have it on my MacBook here, or my iMac here, and I can see things, and I can run the Empire right from here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like it. But then you get the people, and again, I'm one of the people. I'm an Apple person, just the same way
it depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you're a serious gamer, from what I understand, that the serious gamers like Windows.
Okay.
I'm not a gamer, so I don't need that.
No, right. So go ahead. You know what? That's funny. My nephew, he doesn't like Apple, and he's a serious gamer. So that's probably it.
That's where the divide.
But he does have an iPhone.
At least, I mean, for my rudimentary knowledge here, that's where I see the big divide is that the people that game and the people that don't game. That's where the divide is. But if you're just a regular schmo, happy assholing through life, trying to get by.
Yeah, I guess that'll work.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
Do you ever see the need to use one of those Echoes or the thing that comes in the house? You know what I'm talking about? They're the little things. It's kind of like Siri, but it's...
Oh, is that thing where people, they ask it a question?
Right, they ask it a question. I know, but it's so funny. People are so worried about the government coming in and listening and all this stuff, and they bring in these things, and that's all they do is listen.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening constantly.
Well,
Not that they can't do the same thing with your iPhone.
I think a lot of it is some labor-saving devices I can get behind, like an automatic garage door opener. Makes sense to me. Why should I get drenched when I can just open up the garage door this way?
Push of a button.
But do I really need... I mean, am I that disgustingly lazy that I can't lumber my ass over to the thermostat and kick it up a degree or two or down a degree or two? I need to I need to tell it to turn on a light. I mean,
I'll tell you what, there's one thing that I love about Hey Siri. And if you have, you have an iPhone now or something like this, you can, or even with a
Yeah, I've got Siri.
Yeah, so
I haven't used it yet, but
this is what I love about it. So you go, hey, Siri, how do you spell hippopotamus?
Hippopotamus, HIPPOPOTAMUS.
It's like my spell checker.
yeah, well, I've clearly seen some of the things that you write and you're not using that.
Well, sometimes, again, I made a mistake. Oh, you and Jerry, the Nazis, the grammar Nazis were out again in force, which is fine. I don't care.
Well, Jerry pointed out your poor usage of a comma.
Yeah, a comma.
Actually, that one got by me. Oh, you know what? While we're on this, I have to give a shout out to Emily on the story behind, because evidently it's been a pet peeve of mine also, the difference between hanged and hung.
Yes.
And I don't know if you listened to her latest podcast about the Mona Lisa.
No, I have not listened to it.
Okay, well, she goes in there, and I was in at work, I'm like, yes! This is awesome! Someone else is on this. So,
yes.
Props to you, Emily.
Right. So as we wrap this up, we're going to do some shout outs. It's podcasts we like, we listen to. 3 is comedy.
3 is comedy. Awesome.
Bad Cop, and Bold and Belligerent. I'll tell you what, Luke got a little, I don't know if you listened to the last episode, Luke got a little jaunty. I guess he's what, like 25, 26? He's a young buck.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about old guys, like he could beat up old guys. And he said that, he says, I could probably beat the shit out of Jerry or Dave from Bad Cop. And I'm like,
I'd pay to see that.
I'd pay to see that, and I'd bet a month's salary on Bad Cop.
Yeah,
I would absolutely bet a month's salary.
Well, Bob on 3 is comedy. He's a pretty big dude.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's not an old guy. I'm not saying that.
Right. He's a young guy too. But what I'm saying
he's
is
32, I think. And
but these young guys, they think that like 40's old. 40's not that old, guys.
No, I work with some pretty badass 56. I mean, these guys are like former military, former police officers, and
I could just see. I would. How much money? I mean, how funny would it be if you put Dave from Bad Cop against Luke from Bold and Belligerent? How funny would that be?
I don't know. Short of what the new logo looks like, I don't really know what they look like. I know what Dave and Jerry look like, clearly, but
yeah, Luke's kind of like,
listen, they all have facial hair.
Yeah, far be it from me to call anybody doughy, but he's a little bit on the doughy side.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Well, there's doughy and then there's gelatinous.
Right. You know what is funny about it? I love the show Bold and Belligerent. I do. It's funny. I like to listen to those guys. They get into it. And, then you start talking about the gaming and stuff like that. And that kind of, it's just not my cup of tea. So I kind of just fast forward through it. But, so he's always.
You shouldn't have fast forwarded through that part of it because there's a couple of funny lines in there that you might have missed.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, it's sifting, I'm trying to get a gold nugget out of a pile of dog shit. Again, it's only because it's the gaming. It's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. That's all. So now I forgot what the hell I was going to talk about. Oh, so he lives in an apartment complex, and they got there's a guy, and I hate this too, and I understand why he's doing it. I kind of would do the same thing when I was his age. Not now, I don't give a crap. But so anyhow, there was a guy who had a pickup truck, and he would put the cone there, and he would take and Luke, and it's not a parking spot that is reserved. So Luke would go by and grab the cone and throw it in the bushes or something.
Yeah.
So he's been doing this now for a couple of months. And I'm thinking to myself, one day he's going to go over there to grab that cone, and somebody's going to come out from behind the car, because these guys are like a disabled Vietnam vet.
Right.
Guys are going to come out from behind the car and lay an ass whooping on him like nobody's business. That's the story I want to see.
Yeah, just you never know. You're like messing with
Go ahead, move that cone. So anyhow, right. But Bold and Belligerent, and the love affair between Juliet Miranda and Dave from Bad Cop, it's becoming a thing now. Look at me. I'm a matchmaker. Everybody says I start shit, but look, I'm bringing people together. Just saying.
Did you hear 3 is comedy? The latest one?
No, I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Don't ruin it for me.
No, but Jason was listening to. I'm probably one of the first people that get to hear it. because I get up so absurdly
Right.
early, and because of the magic of the difference in time between Eastern Standard Time and Pacific Time. It's like I'll be at work, I'm like, woo, and then it goes big, and I'm like listening to it, like, so I'm probably like most of the time I'm like probably one of the first. But he was addressing Jimmy's appearance here, and when we were talking about the story in California with the cows and everything.
Yes.
So it was like, it was funny. It was just, in fact, I got to get a hold of Jason and pick his brain, because Diane and I are probably looking to take a trip out west. And Diane wants to see the wine country. You know, she's a raging alcoholic. And,
Right.
You know.
Well,
so.
wine country's probably more north.
But he's closer to the game than I am. So.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'd probably have to hit him up and
Sure.
pick his brain and see what to avoid. Yeah.
I can see you now. You, Diane, hanging out. Pictures with Jason and Mindy hanging out at a place.
Wow, it's nice that you've built this whole trip up for me,
Sure.
John. I guess you're just I was just looking to fly out I don't even know where exactly the wine country is. I know it's north of where
it's
they
probably
are.
It's probably like an 8-hour
California
drive.
is like so epically huge. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It probably is an epically huge drive.
It's probably the same distance from here to Charlotte, North Carolina, from their house to
I don't even know.
The San Francisco wine country or whatever. I don't know.
When Don and I went to Raleigh, North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
we got there in like 6.5 hours.
Oh yeah, you can burn it.
Okay. It took us that long to go to Boston.
Right.
And look how close Boston is.
Well,
because of the damn Northeast corridor up here.
The traffic.
You know, the traffic is like horrendous. But
so yeah, catch bad cop. Those guys, I swear they crack me up. Those two guys, they are hysterically funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's a show that one of the ones as soon as it comes out, I listen to it right away. Same thing with Three's Comedy, but I just haven't. Monday was a tough day, and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, well, you're slacking.
I am slacking. You're right. I had to get ready because I
was work yesterday, sitting in the ivory tower. I'm like waiting, checking the feed.
Right, towing the trigger. Daniel, no Cassie this week.
No,
they had another.
On.
Well, the latest one just came out, and there's no Cassie.
Really? I didn't need to...
Okay, so no Cassie this week. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet, so I don't know if the new guys. I don't know if I like the show without Cassie. She adds a little. I don't know.
Well, you always need something to bounce off somebody.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, I don't really consider myself a podcaster. It's just because you dragged me in here. But
why wouldn't you consider yourself a podcaster?
Well, it's just because it wasn't something that you jumped into it with both feet. So you embraced it long before I did.
You've been on. This is the 34th episode.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I can't imagine just sitting here by myself. Like
I don't do it by myself. Well, I was thinking about it.
Well, do you think you could do one by yourself?
Yeah, of course I could. I have.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yes, I have. But
my
latest
you did,
one.
Yeah, you did your. I remember the
Let's Reverse. A podcast that didn't work. Let's Reverse Obesity. There's still 27 or 28 episodes out there on that one. But I was thinking of doing one where it was just me going over the stories without being interrupted or corralled away from the story. We'd call it My 2 Cents.
Well, what are you saying, John?
Just saying.
So that means if you do that one, we'll never talk about politics again. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love the guy who doesn't like to talk about politics, but man, I'll tell you, he starts with facts and figures and this and that.
Well, it gets back to what we talked about a couple of podcasts ago, where you are alienating people that you might not necessarily want to alienate.
I don't care.
I do.
I don't care. I really don't. I mean, if you can't get the joke, a perfect example. That lady from Saturday Night Live that wrote the joke about Barron, said he was going to be the first homeschooled
school shooter.
Yeah, I found that hysterically funny. I thought that was hysterically funny.
It's your people.
It's not the fact that it's my people. It's the fact that it's funny.
It's not.
It's like
funny.
The first guy that's going to shoot as first homeschool
somebody
shooting.
who's going to commit murder is funny.
A homeschool shooting. Who shoots people? They're supposed to like the people at your house. I thought it was funny, and I would have said, "Fuck you." I'm not going to. I'm not apologizing. I think that's funny. You don't like it. Piss off.
I approach it from the aspect of, regardless of who's in there, the family is off limits, especially children.
It was a joke.
Why drag that? What is that kid?
It doesn't matter. He's not even. It's first of all,
leave the kids out of it. It's just that. Would you want someone to say that about your kids?
If it's funny,
nah, that's what you say.
That it's not even about anything about him. It's just that that the family would be so dysfunctional that he would actually have me homeschooled and shoot them. I just thought it was funny. It struck me funny. I saw it. I laughed. There you go. And it's not because I'm Republican or Democrat. It doesn't make a
there's a
difference.
special place in hell for you.
Exactly. That's fine. That's fine.
And I'll probably see you there anyway. So
Yeah. You know, it's I saw a thing, it was a meme or whatever, and it's like the 3 circles, whatever they call that thing, where it's like, I don't know,
a graph.
left, right, you know, and then there's the center part.
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's that a vagrant graph? I
Or
believe
something
it's
like
called.
that.
Yeah, it's a graph.
well, yeah, okay. So it says things that people find offensive, things that, and it's like in the center.
Why I'm going to hell.
Why I'm going to hell.
I posted that every year. It pops up on my memory, and I always repost
Yeah,
and share.
it's exactly right, because there's so many reasons for me to go to hell.
Do you ever have something pop up on your Facebook time hop thing, and you look at it, you're like, I have no fucking idea why I posted this.
No,
like
not
what
really.
the hell? It's like I was like, what was going on? Because it'll be like, we found this from 4 years ago, and you're looking at it, and I'm like, some of them are obvious. It was
Right.
like a birthday or whatever, something like that. But you're like looking at it, and it's like, what the hell was going on that I posted this? You know,
I know. I everything I've done.
was I smoking crack?
Was I on the pipe? I got a great idea.
Yeah, this will be great.
This would be so funny.
Yeah, you're like, and I just said, hey, move along. Like the stormtrooper in Star Wars. Move along.
All right, and I'm trying to think who else we usually shout out. Emily from The Story Behind, the Epic Film guys. They do reviews of movies. And trying to think of the God, I can't think of
Horribly Awkward Podcast.
Hardly Awkward podcast is a very good podcast, and I think that's about it. I think that's all the ones that we shout out.
What are some that I listen to that John would hate?
Go ahead, let them give them a shout out.
Nah, they're not part of the Potter family. So.
So they have to be part of the Potter family.
What's that?
Do they have to be part of the Potter family?
Well, I thought that's what we're doing. We're helping her. You know what? Did you
shout out
now,
to the podcast.
now that I'm older?
Now that I'm older, yes.
Yeah, he left out Kenny and Shane.
Yeah.
The last one was funny. Did you hear him talk about all the old toys that they had?
I'll tell you what, that guy Kenny, I'm sure, now there's concussions in his background. I guarantee you there's been some concussions in that boy's background, but he is funny. And Shane, too.
I knew there was one that we were like why does this not seem complete? And then it occurred to me, now that I'm older.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, everybody, thank you very much for listening. Blah, 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 blah. Follow us on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Follow us on the Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Instagram. You can do all that by going to brandxpodcast.com/contact.
Nice pregnant pause there.
I had to think. That's why we had blah, blah, blahs. All right. We did Facebook Live. I'll put that at the end. So we're somewhere around an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're off 17 minutes.
We're off 17 minutes. Here we go. All right, everybody. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
Hold on.
That's it. We're just getting into it.
All right. We're ready to go live. Everybody's doing Facebook Live now. Like
Really?
Facebook made it live, and everybody's like, oh, let's do Facebook Live. So we need to get better light, because when I use this light, it hurts Deuce's eyes. So we'll turn that down.
Plus, it's fluorescent. I hate them.
It's not. Oh, yeah, it is.
Duh.
How about that? It is. I thought it was just a bulb, but okay.
They make everyone look like death.
No Jimmy today. No Jimmy on the podcast. The Jimmy was a big splash
Sans
on the
Jimmy.
last podcast.
Jimmy's public has spoken.
That's right. We might have to bring the Jimmy back. Could the Jimmy be a regular?
Now I have to make a new logo.
just put like the Jimmy underneath the circle. And
Scrawled
Jimmy.
in like in
Yeah,
chalk.
just like handwritten in.
And chalk.
This episode, you said you didn't want to talk about the
music?
the Million Woman March, and
Well, I think everyone's sick and tired of it, don't you?
you don't think that we could put a spin on it that would make it funny?
Well, you can try, but
Well, what should we talk about then?
I don't know. Fiddlesticks.
Fiddles.
I don't know.
I actually would like somebody to watch this.
Yeah,
It's
I
supposed
know.
to be funny.
Yeah. No, we can talk about it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll let you.
You'll let me?
Because I have the ultimate power.
Well, you kind of do. Because you get the wrinkle nose when I start talking about something you don't like. Now that you're here, I can see the wrinkle nose.
Yeah.
I could see the wrinkle nose before, but we used to have so many windows open, you couldn't see. You'd have it open and you
hide behind a panel.
Yeah, behind a panel. But now you're right there.
Uh-huh.
I see the nose wrinkle. I'm like, oh, he's not into it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I care.
No, you shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I should just plow. The fact that you're wrinkle nosing it should actually make me plow on.
It's about you and your needs.
Exactly.
Right.
It's always about me.
That's how I operate. It's always about me and my needs.
This time
or as Homer Simpson said the Marge Jordan argument, well, what about my womanly needs, Marge?
So the ladies were all out marching this week. Of course, I can't find my sound effect.
Now, see?
I had to move it, didn't I?
It's a sign.
March with me.
Come on, women, let's go march.
March with me.
All right. Well, we'd like to keep this thing going and actually let you watch this crazy thing that we do. We'll have to do that next time. And then we're going to try to bring Joe on, your brother Joe.
No, I don't think you have to try too hard.
You think he'll come? I thought he might show up tonight.
Well, if you'd said something, I would have asked him.
I have to. I'm only one half of this show.
Well, I didn't.
You could have brought him. Did I ask you if the Jimmy could come?
No, yeah, you did. You said who should our first guest be?
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay.
Now, see?
See? Look at Deuce playing to the camera.
Well, if you leave shit out, the flies will find it.
That's true. All right. So we're getting ready to do the Brand X podcast. It should be ready by Friday.
Unless John just can't wait like he did the last time.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
As soon as I get done.
See, I found what I have to do is I have to not do the artwork so fast.
You know how close that we went to almost having me do the artwork this week? Because I was like, oh, boy, I can't wait.
So if I just sit on the artwork.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. Come on, dude. Well,
like if I finish it by midnight tonight and I'll just send it
would be
to
out
you
tomorrow
like
morning.
5 in the morning.
It would be
on
out at
Friday,
6.
And then it would be out there.
I'll kill you.
Just make you wait for the artwork. That's how you have to do.
I almost just put the Brand X logo up. And here you go.
Yeah.
Episode
here it is.
33. Because Deuce is too slow.
Yeah, just potluck.
Right. All right, folks. Well, we're going to get ready to do the podcast. I don't see that is there two people? There's 2 people watching. But you see, I can't tell who's watching. Wait, my mom's here.
Hey, Mom.
Mom's here watching, or I don't know if she's watching now or she just put a thumbs up. But it says 2 people are watching. Now 1. I scared 1 away.
That's it.
All
I
right.
said, that's not what I thought it was. I'm running.
Yeah. 3. All right. So let's get ready to. Oh, here's Michael Jr. Michael Jr.'s watching. Oh, my mom's watching. She likes the shows. My mom. She listens.
Mm-hmm. Despite your foul mouth?
Despite and your foul mouth, yes.
Yeah, but it's about me and my needs. I don't have a mom, so.
Hey, Mom, when
no one can holler at me.
It's true. Hey, Mom, if I get a phone line hooked up in here, would you call in and do the show with us? Would you call in as a guest spot, Mom? See if she types in. I'd like to have her on the show. She's actually where I get my my comedian chops. Mm-hmm. I have her kind of.
That's
I have her
comedic.
Comedic chops. Comedian. I was going to say comedian, and I couldn't figure it out, and I went to chops. Where I get my comedic chops. But I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want to come on.
Nah, had you said something, I would have asked Joe. I just figured you didn't want to have a guest every show because I don't know how you felt about doing that.
No, we'll bring Joe in next week. I asked Don. Don gave me Mom, look, Mom will call in.
There you go.
Mom will call in. I asked Don. Don was another member of the original Brand X, and he gave me a polite thank you, but that's your thing.
Well,
he listens.
Yeah, I knew exactly. You could have asked me. I would have told you what Don would have said.
I don't know. I figured maybe now.
Don is the most well-adjusted out of all of us. He doesn't need this. He doesn't. Don is the stable one. He always was. He was the voice of reason.
It's true.
He still is the voice of reason.
Right now he's out taking pictures of wildlife.
Yeah. Well, he got into the photography big time.
Yeah. I like the pictures that he takes.
Yeah, he takes great photos.
I take them and I put little captions on them.
You steal them? Yeah.
I steal his pictures and I put captions about our podcast.
Like all good friends, you go and steal his work and take credit for it.
I didn't take credit for it. I gave him credit. Both times I gave him credit.
Both times.
Well, I only used it twice. He's got one with a squirrel holding a nut. That's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this show. All right, well, why don't we just start it here? I really don't even know what we're doing.
Well, I got a lot of shit to talk about.
You got a lot of shit to talk about?
Yeah, just,
All right.
Because I had a hell of a day.
Wow, I can't wait to hear about it. All right, here we go. We'll just start the show, and then I'll just end the Facebook Live, and then we'll just as we're starting the show. All right, you ready? Here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. I'm John.
And I'm Deuce. Come and stop, bitches.
You want to start that over again, or just got to get in there a little faster? No,
Huh?
no.
I was waiting for you. And with me now is that's what you usually do. You're breaking the fourth wall.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna start it again.
Oh, okay.